Alright team, so starting to now get into a little bit of the advanced stages of our carries. We now have an offset pressed carry or an overhead offset press carry, whatever you want to call it. We're walking with that lighter load above the head now. Everything remains the same, just like our previous offset carries that we've done. Starting from the ground up, we want to make sure we're striking with that heel. As we go to press off, we're pressing through the toe, and the whole time that glute is on nice and tight. As always, we're keeping this core on, locked tight, so rec abdom, TA, obliques, everything's staying nice and tight. This is again an oblique sling exercise, so we're going to be working one side more than the other, creating that stability. Because this is now pressing overhead, we need to make sure that we are in a nice locked position. So what that means is from this side on view, we don't want to be pushing up and having this arm on an angle. Likewise, as we're pushing up, we don't want to be coming back too far. Now, I doubt with a lot of people's shoulder mobility, they will come back too far. However, as we're walking and instability is introduced into the exercise, we want to make sure that we're pressing nice and high, keeping the lat on. So as we press high, what we don't want to do is bring this shoulder into elevation. So we're not pressing up and then extending out for that shoulder, coming into a compromised position. What we want to do is as we press up, we depress the shoulder. So we're keeping those lats on nice and tight. We're making sure the shoulder's in a strong position. We're not going to compromise any of those rotator cuffs, especially all through the back of the shoulder. So when we go into this press position, guys, we want to make sure, again, we've either got the kettlebell down the side or in the racked position. And then for our press, we're coming up. So the program will dictate where it needs to be. In this case, we're going to go completely offset. Now, again, starting from the ground, as we step, we strike with the heel. As we follow through, we're pushing off with the toe and we're squeezing that glute. Abs are nice and locked. What I'm not doing is coming into this anterior tilt with the hips, focusing on that posterior tilt. But of course, if you're squeezing those glutes, that's where it should be. We're locking those abs on, but we're still in that nice straight posture, that anatomically correct posture. Now I'm pressing the dumbbell straight up to the roof. I'm not making sure that it's coming forward and I'm placing unnecessary load through that shoulder. At the same time as I'm walking, I'm not letting it really move around. We're in that locked position. And in order to do that, we depress the shoulder. Okay, there's a little bit bent in my arm that wasn't meant to be there, but merely for the example. So we're depressing that shoulder by locking the lat on, but we're still trying to push high, just not coming into elevation. From there, guys, as we're walking around, we're making sure that we're moving through all of these movements. When we come to finish, we come back down into the rack position and then drop down. You can then switch over your weights. That is the overhead or pressed offset carry.